What's up, witches? It's me, Luna. I have a deck review to do for you today, and the deck is not a gift from my daughter. Surprisingly enough, this is the Celestial Tarot by Kay Stevenson and Brian Clark. These are the same artist and author of the Ancient Feminine Wisdom of Goddesses and Heroines deck. This is US Games, so is this. Also, the artist and author of Spiral Tarot. These two she did with Brian Clark. This one is by herself. I will be reviewing this one very soon. Anyway, let me get myself situated and then let's take a look. So, US Games, Celestial Tarot fuses the myths, symbols, and astronomy of the planets, signs, constellations, and fixed stars with astrological divination to reveal the mysteries of the tarot in an engaging and unique way. So I like that the word celestial isn't just a woo-woo word, that they are actually bringing in astronomy of planets, signs, constellations, and fixed stars. I'm especially excited about that. It's kind of weird that it goes that anyway. Copyright. We have 2004, 2007. This one was printed in 2021. So let's get in there. No, wait. Celestial Tarot is both a handbook of the heavens and an oracular guide to the inner life. Includes 78 cards with instruction booklet. I have already done the tape job on this box so it won't fall apart. I keep threatening to shoot a video on that, but is it worth it? You know how to tape up a box. Anyway, there's the deck. Here's the booklet. The typical LWB. So it has the copyright of 2004, and it doesn't say which printing this is. Introducing Celestial Tarot. Embedded in our night sky are archetypal images, symbols, and stories that have enchanted and inspired the human soul for eons. Onto this sanctuary of the sky, the ancients projected their imagination, using the star patterns to animate their myths and create the skyscape that shapes the imagery of Celestial Tarot. Underpinning the 78 cards of Celestial Tarot are the ancient traditions of astrology, astronomy, and mythology. The tarot is now projected onto the wide canvas of the heavens, allowing the astrology, mythology, and symbolism of the planets and constellations to inspire the cards. They're kind of saying the same-ish thing over and over again here. Celestial Tarot, pardon me, makes a great impact as it not only amplifies and widens the meaning of the contemporary cards, but also utilizes the oldest forms of divination. The Celestial Tarot also has symmetry. The 22 cards of the major arcana are represented by the 12 zodiacal constellations and the 10 planets of contemporary astrology, with each minor suit representing one of the 4 astrological elements. In the minor arcana, we encounter the extra zodiacal constellations. Throughout these cards, the zodiac is divided into decanates to add more insight and symbolism to each card. Okay, so the minors go past the... Okay, the court cards include the princesses, who each personify a season, while the prince, queen, and king of each suit embody the mutable, fixed, and cardinal signs. Cool. Okay, as an astrologer, I'm getting excited. Guided by Tarot tradition, the words of C.C. Zane and Raphael Binding, as well as her own creative impulses. Kay Stevenson. Did I say Stevenson? It's Steventon. How did I not know that all this time? Steventon. Okay. Has created a tarot deck for a new age, one engaging the tarot enthusiast with the ancient tradition of astral divination. Imagination is awoken through the visual images of astrological constellations and mythological symbols. For astrologers, it's an exciting new way to engage with the constellations and planets. And I want to look back here because, let's go to the back to see if we have, all right, we don't have anything about the artist and author. All right, the major arcana of the Celestial Tarot, the greater mysteries. So we go through and we have a chart here where we have the major arcana card. God, this is the writing is so very small. I'm resisting the urge to go get my magnifying glass. We have the cards, name and number. We have the elemental symbol. We have the astrological ruler, so that's a planet, and the astrological correspondence, which is either a sign or a planet. Okay, so these are both signs and planets here. Signs and planets here. So ruler and correspondence. What's the difference there? The ruler, okay, so let's take Uranus, Aquarius, Moon, Cancer, till we get to a, so basically, if it's got a planet under ruler, it has a sign under correspondence. If it's got a sign under ruler, it's got a, or if it's got a planet under ruler, it has a sign. If it's got a sign, it has a planet here. And then we have Hebrew letters. Then we're straight into the meanings, and we get, so there's the title, The Fool, Uranus, and the Journey of Individuation, and then we just get a packed paragraph. We don't get keywords. That makes me sad. All right, let's get to the minors. The lesser mysteries. So we have Wands, the Quest for Life, and we've got Ace through King, Astrological Harmonic Mode. And here we have aspects and element, season, okay, season, and then cardinal, fixed, mutable, Wands, fire, constellation, and then signs for the mutable, fixed, cardinal of that element. Then we have decanates here and the ruler of the decan. Some people say deacon, I never have. And the same thing for each of the suits. And so we have the name, we've got the constellation that it corresponds with, and then again, just a paragraph. We don't get keywords. Disgruntlement. We have a little thing on using the Celestial Tarot, many ways to use it for inner guidance, revelation, inspiration, divination. Shuffle the cards, la la la, allow this card to remain in your awareness. Okay, so it doesn't really give us particulars, you know, things peculiar to this deck here. Reading the cards, due to the rich symbolism, it's possible that many different levels of experience will be unearthed. Then we have a Celtic cross, and that's that. Let's get to the cards. Right off the rip here, I will say that I've never been a huge fan of astrology cards because, you know, astrology itself is such a specific system that I've never really seen the need to do it through cards. However, I will say karma cards are an exception because they do a great service in teaching you how to construct astrological sentences. But, you know, when you go to the Waite-Smith Tarot and the Thoth Tarot, the astrological correspondences are there. So, you know, you can't really separate traditional tarot from astrology. So, okay, we've got white borders on the back, and then we've got this blue border when you flip them over, and I'm not really a fan. I find that color distracting. Okay. So you get this, and you get the, oh, okay, here we go. Kay Steventon, creator of the Celestial Tarot deck, is a professional artist and astrologer living in Melbourne, Australia. Brian Clark, author of the Celestial Tarot booklet, is an international lecturer, writer, and educator in the disciplines of astrology and mythology. Embedded in our night sky, let's see if I don't want to repeat something. Embedded in our night sky, blah, 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 inner life. Okay, so basically we get the same blurb in the front of the book. Enough that I'm not going to read it again. Okay, now we have the Fool. And at the top, again, this blue border, it kind of clashes. There's a very distinct palette with this deck of these very deep blues and then reds and purples, at least what I'm seeing so far. And this blue kind of clashes. It's not a pale blue. It's saturated, you know? Why? White would have been better, I think. Anyway, here's the Fool, and we've got Uranus at the top and the number and the Fool at the bottom. We see the symbol for Aquarius. We see a Hebrew letter. We see the element of air. I'm not sure what that is. Let's look at what happens in the book. Do we get a description of the image? Uranus, as the planetary spirit guiding the Fool, acts suddenly and unexpectedly, uprooting the past to make way for progress. Poised to take a risk and rebel against the status quo, the future-directed Fool steps into the unknown to begin his unfolding journey into self-understanding. So that's the Fool up there. See him? Okay, he is naked, personifying the soul at the beginning of the adventure, innocent and unaware of the initiations and lessons lying ahead. Arms outstretched, his abundant faith and optimism compels him to follow a dream, a hunch, a feeling, to experience where it may lead him. The appearance of the Fool suggests movement, unexpected change, a fresh start, and a challenge lying ahead. On an oracular level, the Fool suggests a turning point on the spiral path of individuation. So, I mean, we don't get, we talk about sudden, unexpected things, which is Uranus. Uranus is also humanitarianism, it's genius, it's the intellect. Okay, well, that's what we get. We don't really get a really descriptive description of the image itself. We get kind of a general overall of the Fool with a little bit of Uranian terminology in there, but not a description of this image and what's going on. Okay. Here's Mercury and the Magician. That image looks very familiar, and I'm trying to figure out why. But we've got the Greek letter, we've got Virgo there, we have air, Gemini, there's a caduceus. We don't see, I think that's the tree of life here. It kind of looks like it. There's, I guess we get constellation. I'm not sure. Mercury there, you know, the winged helmet. So we don't really get an image that looks like the Magician that we're used to. And I want to see, because they talked about fixed stars. And Cassiopeia, Perseus, Hydra, Draco, Fire, Summer. I'm just taking another peek. Sorry to be so disorganized. Alpheus, Orion, Riga, Botes, Earth, Spring. I don't really see fixed stars. Serpens, Asclepius. Well, onward. We have the High Priestess, which is Moon. I've always found it interesting that High Priestess is Moon and that the Moon is Pisces. So here's the High Priestess. Again, nothing that we're familiar with. I see the Tree of Life. I do not see two columns. She's got a veil over her. The artwork is lovely. She's standing like on the moon, and there's a crescent moon there, which is an astrological reference, the symbol of water. I guess a full moon there. Venus, the Empress. But again, how much more would I have loved a larger image with a narrow border, if necessary, at the top and bottom for the titles, but give me a bigger image and do away with these blue borders. I'm like actively hating them. Okay. There we go. There's the Empress. Aries, the Emperor. Deep reds that thoroughly clash with that ugly blue. I mean, it's ugly. This color is, sorry. Okay. And then we have the Hierophant. Really? Taurus. So we've got this dude that almost looks like he's going like this. I mean, take a look. Come on, please. Oh, please focus. Please focus. Come on. I know I don't. I know I've got it on autofocus. At any rate. Oh, you got a flash there. A tease. Anyway, it looks like he's flipping us the bird this way. Taurus, Venus, Earth. But Hierophant. Okay. Gemini. And I'm an astrologer, you guys, and I'm struggling here. So we've got the twins, the lovers. That does make sense. So we are, it is the celestial, and we've got these stars everywhere, and I wonder if those stars actually form like the constellations. There's the Chariot, which is Cancer, which I have always found mystifying. So, this goes to show you, and it makes me kind of excited that there's still a whole lot of tarot for me to explore and to understand, because the Chariot is associated with Cancer, and we have a mother holding a baby, which you would think to see on the Empress, but here's the Chariot, go, rah, I'm in the driver's seat. How is that Cancer? It's just always kind of made me go, what? All right, I promise I'm not going to bitch about every single card. And even look at this. With this next to this, it looks like it's two different decks. Anyway, Strength. There's Leo. Virgo, the Hermit. And, we get the shadowy images in the back that remind us of the card we're used to. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. Thank the gods they have this wheel correct. If there were two astrologers doing this deck and they had that fucked up, I would have been crying. So Jupiter. We have Libra and Justice. That's a beautiful image. No blindfold. It's kind of interesting too that at the bottom we get the Tree of Life, but it's the same on every card. It's in the same place. There's nothing on it that is like highlighted to show us here's where we're at on that tree. Hanged Man is Neptune. That one makes so much sense because Neptune is about surrender. Sacrifice and surrender. Death. Okay, we don't get that shadowy reminder in the background. We just have two people kind of walking a path. We've got an image of a phoenix here. The Tree of Life is here, but look, I mean, can you see that? You see these three very pale lines and the dots are there. So I'm wondering why that was included in every single image. Scorpio is Death, by the way. Sagittarius is Temperance. That's a beautiful image. There's Capricorn, the Devil. You know why Capricorn is the devil? Everybody's, I can hear you. That should be Scorpio. No. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn, Satan, very similar words. It's karma. Saturn is the lord of karma. And it's just the consequences of your deeds or your misdeeds. Mars is the Tower. See, I've always seen the Tower as a much more Uranian card. So we have a warrior. We've got bricks falling down here. Again, that very pale tree of life. So strange. Here's Aquarius is the star. Pisces, the moon. Ooh, I like the two fishes, the two mermaids. That's pretty cool. Pisces, Neptune, water. Here's the sun. Obviously, the sun in Leo. Pluto, jugement. Judgment. So here's all the souls kind of rising up to the figure with the trumpet. Saturn is the world. And I can look at that as Saturn is what brings structure. Saturn, it's an Earth, it rules Capricorn, an Earth sign. It structures, it limits. So the world being the material, not the spiritual. I can see Saturn ruling that. We've got, again, the belt of the zodiac. We don't have any hint of the 4 fixed signs. Now, into the wands. Cassiopeia is the ace, Aries, Mars. Cetus is the 2, which is Aries, Sun. Ooh, very interesting. So it must bring in, what the symbols of these constellations are that I am not familiar with. Here's Perseus and the 3 of Wands, Aries, Jupiter. Hydra is the 4, Leo and Sun. So there's a lot to draw on here, but I'm going to just take this one and look at how close the meaning comes to what we're used to. Because, it says Hydra, 4 of Wands, and you've got Sun and Leo, but you don't have any of that familiar imagery. Okay, slithering across 1/4 of the night sky is Hydra, the largest constellation identified by a primeval water snake. In Greek myth, Heracles destroyed the 9-headed serpentine monster after a long battle, personifying the heroic impulse that successfully battles the dragon of fear and doubt. The card is linked with the first decan of Leo, thematic of the courage and determination necessary to express the self. The card reveals celebration and gratitude for accomplishing the labor. However, it also implies that this phase of endeavor has ended and the future will call the individual to continue self-exploration. Do we get any of that in this image? Absolutely not. I don't see celebration. I see this big, many-headed serpent. I don't see it being slain. I don't see victory or celebration or... Okay. Crater is 5 of Wands. Okay, I'm just going to go through. Corvus, the 6 of Wands. Mars and Leo. I mean, that's the victory card. Lyra, 7. Ara, the 8. And we've got Mars and Sagittarius. That the planet and then in the sign gives me more information than anything else. Draco, the Sun in Sag. That's the 9 of Wands. Okay, fire, 10 of Wands, is the element itself. The princess is the season, summer. And we have Virgo, Leo, Cancer. Okay, that just answered. Remember in the Tarot Spirit, can't remember the author's name, and I was seeing these 3 things and going, why are those 3 signs there? I don't understand it. I don't understand. It's the season. Duh. Here's the Prince of Wands. He is mutable fire. That's Sag. Fixed fire is the Queen. That's Leo. And then we have cardinal fire, King of Wands. So, but we have other cards. All right, hold on. See, we have, here's the Strength card, which is also Leo. So how do we differentiate between I don't know is the answer to that. And then here is Cardinal Fire, King of Wands. Then we're into the Pentacles, Sagitta, which is Sagittarius' symbol. We've got Saturn, Capricorn, Ace of Pentacles. Wow, I'm confused. Aquila, Two of Pentacles. We get Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn, Delphinus, Mercury in Capricorn, Delphinus. Orion is Venus in Taurus, Four of Pentacles, okay. That tracks. Eridanus is the Five of Pentacles, and that's Mercury in Taurus. Auriga, Six of Pentacles, Saturn in Taurus. Okay, Six of Pentacles. I'm thinking of the Six of Pentacles card of loans and debts and stuff, and duty with resources. Okay, that I guess that makes sense. But to me right now, the addition of the constellation up here, most of which I have not heard of, is not helping me. So this is going to be a deck that's very tied to the book, doing readings initially. Seven of Pentacles, Mercury in Virgo. Centaurus, Eight of Pentacles. And truthfully, that makes a lot of sense. Is that coma? Seven of Pentacles, Mercury in Virgo, that is harvest. So Saturn in Virgo. Bootes, Nine Bootes, I think, Nine of Pentacles. Venus in Virgo. And Earth. We see a babe in the womb, and we get Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Earth. Spring is the Princess. Mutable Earth, or Virgo, is the Prince. Fixed Earth, Taurus, is the Queen. And Cardinal Earth, or Capricorn, is the King. Then we have Crucis, Ace of Swords, Venus in Libra. Lupus, Uranus in Libra, 2. Okay. Corona, Three of Swords. Okay, hold up. Mercury in Libra. This is a card that talks about heartache, and we have a frickin' crown. Oh, I'm so sad to be grumpy here. I really am, truly sad. In the Celestial Tarot, the ancient northern constellation of the Corona Borealis, the crown of Ariadne, represents the Three of Swords. Ariadne betrayed her family to help her lover Theseus, but her heart was broken when he abandoned her. In the midst of her deepest grief, her true soulmate, the god Dionysus, materialized to crown her. While a painful separation has occurred, Ariadne finds reconciliation through mourning. When this card appears, it suggests that love and loss are intertwined, and to experience true love, loss and grief must also be acknowledged. So we get that heartbreak and everything, but again, you've got to read to get what the mythology is that the imagery is based on. So even if, I mean, you really have to know some deep mythology to just get it. Pisces Australis is Four of Swords. Pegasus is the 5. Cygnus, the 6. Lepus or Lepus is the 7. Mercury in Gemini. Canis Major is the 8. Canis Minor, the 9. Air is the 10. Look at these blowing in with the winds. I'm trying real hard to keep myself from mentally checking out right now. Sorry. Princess is winter. The prince is mutable air, Gemini. The queen is Aquarius, fixed air. And the king is cardinal air or Libra. Then we have Ursa Minor, the Ace of Cups. And Ursa Major is the 2, Pluto in Cancer. Argo is the 3, Neptune in Cancer. Serpens, Pluto in Scorpio. Ophiuchus, this is the 5 of Cups, which is Neptune in Scorpio. Here's Hercules as the 6, Moon in Scorpio. Alarisha, 7, Neptune in Pisces. Ooh, that tracks for real. Cepheus, the 8, is the Moon in Pisces, so that's a card for me. Andromeda is the 9, Pluto in Pisces. Water is the 10. Autumn is the Priestess. The Prince is Pisces. The Queen is Scorpio. The King is Cancer. So I want to say I've got a little side story here. This was well over 10 years ago that I got this deck, and I was working for a business at a time that the shop carried tarot decks, and we ordered a shit ton of these because US Games had them on sale, like big sale, and we bought a bunch, and they just sat there and they didn't go anywhere, and I got my copy, and I discovered that I didn't use it because it is so Greek mythology heavy. And I mean, fortunately, it has keywords, and you can look up the review video for this deck on my channel. Sorry, hair. But the mythology kind of shut me off because I do not, I don't know Greek mythology. I don't have it all internalized. And if you're new to this channel, I am recently, like within the last year or so, diagnosed with autism. And one of the things that goes with that is that if there's something I'm interested in, I will suck up the information like a sponge and it's mine forever. However, if I'm not interested in a subject, it is nearly impossible for me to retain the information. So that goes for Greek mythology. There are certain things that I know, other things it's like I just don't retain it. And I don't do like pantheons as a witch. I don't like, ooh, I'm the Egyptian pantheon, I'm this, I'm that. It's just the certain forms and vibes from whatever pantheon that I vibe to. So this deck clearly is mythology heavy as well. And I mean, the words on the cards don't give me any information. The images are not familiar. Thank the goddess for the astrological symbols on the cards, because that's going to give me a clue. Otherwise, and down here, I'm going to have to sit and go, okay, what's 6 of Swords? All right, do I see that in this card? Do I see it in Venus and Aquarius? Just trying to relate. Plus the fact that I detest the color of these borders. Ooey, ooey. Well, let's bless it at any rate. Uh-oh. Well, sage is all gone. Just a minute. Let's get some fresh sage out here. Maybe to get my brain on a better track than all the bitching I'm doing. Oh, well. And I was thinking, I'll pick a really easy deck to shoot before I do other things I need to do. At this point, I'm wondering if I'll have enough energy when I'm done bitching. All right. Close enough for rock and roll. Here we go. By air and fire may you be purified and charged. On the book, and the blocking cards. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. If you didn't know, the water and earth is ocean water that's in this little bottle, jar thing. And by the sound of the bell, may negativity disperse and may the spirit awaken. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with my quacking. And thank you for feeding me information to help me bring forth a reading, because the whole point here is to test drive this deck and bring a reading forward that's going to do you some good today, whenever you're watching this. So I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael with gratitude to you and gratitude to Kay Steventon and Brian Clark for their efforts, their talents, their skills in bringing this deck to my hands. Now, this might be the only thing I don't bitch about, is that this is US Games cardstock. It fits great in the hand. Does it pass this test? Absolutely. Let's give her a shuffle. No problem whatsoever. It shuffles like a deck of frickin' cards. All right, let me focus in. All right, what do we need to know today? My viewers, that's who I'm focusing on. My viewers and the collective. I'm going to do one more riffle and then we will cut. But what do we need to know as a collective of spirits on this planet, as a group that we're sharing this journey? Okay, let's... Here they come. We have nine... Oh, interesting. We have 9 of Wands, 9 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles. And then we have Strength, and we have Princess of Pentacles. So how nice, we're getting all of the species. And then we have 8 of Cups. No swords, that's welcome. Okay. So let me just take a look and see what I can do with these intuitively. Do you see the difference in color? Is it... I mean, the borders don't even have... They're not even all the same color. Do you see how this one's lighter than the rest? I'm very confused by that, but you know, and I'm going to stop trying to line them up because they don't want to. Okay. 9 of Wands at the top. Draco. We have Sun in Sagittarius. So, Sun in Sag is go. It's mutable fire, which means it's changeable and adaptable and past oriented. As an identity, it's I am here to have fun. I'm here to explore. I am here to adapt to new ways and new things, foreign things, different things. Okay, 9 of Wands. What else do I know about 9 of Wands? It's also kind of the Wounded Warrior card. Okay, and then we've got 9 of Cups, which is Pluto in Pisces. So, and Andromeda, I'm not even going to really look at the names of the constellations and everything because they don't mean anything to me. I don't have anything to draw on there. But 9 of Cups, 9 of Wands is kind of boundaries, getting up your boundaries. 9 of Cups is the wish card, wish fulfillment. And the 7 of Pentacles is harvest, things that take time and the harvest. Okay, so boundaries, self-care, celebration. You know what? I'm going to the book. My complaints about this deck are actually getting in my way. They are confounding me. And, you know, if this was the only deck I had to use, would I get a reading out of it? I sure would. But I'm having to fight myself on this right now, and I don't want to take up that much of your time. Oh, Lordy. Okay, so wands. Draco. Coiled around the North Pole, Draco guards the treasure at the center of the celestial sphere. Again, another serpentine creature appears to confront the hero. Draco is often equated with Ladon, Ladon, the dragon guarding the golden apples of the Hesperides defeated by Heracles. So again, we get more mythology, and equated with Ladon, the garden dragon. Okay, Having accomplished so many labors, the hero faces yet another, this time with the help of Atlas. Okay, do we see Atlas anywhere there? Holding up the world? No. When the Nine of Cups is drawn, okay, wait. Okay, wait. This is Nine of Wands. When the Nine of Cups is drawn, it reveals there may be another obstacle in the path or dragon to subdue. Yet with the second wind accompanied by inner strength and conviction, the individual successfully meets the challenge. That's a pretty glaring typo. Nine of Wands, here it says the Nine of Cups, which caused me intense confusion there. Let's look at the Nine of Cups, because that's what we have next anyhow, right? Okay. Nine of Cups. Wow. All right, so we do get that. There's another obstacle before you get to the end. There's an obstacle. Nine of Cups, Andromeda. The figure of the chained woman has been consistently projected onto the constellation of Andromeda. Her name, ruler of men, reveals the ancient tradition of the queen, the goddess's surrogate wed to the hero. Okay, I didn't know Andromeda meant ruler of men. That will stick with me. In the Nine of Cups, Andromeda is free of the chains that have held her hostage. They're still hanging on her arms. In a mood of reverie, she raises her arms in a gesture of liberation. Naked and innocent, she's ready to give herself freely. The Nine of Cups augurs a period of emotional fulfillment and satisfaction as the weight of the past has been emotionally lifted. Okay, so we've got the main thing up at the top here. We still have an obstacle to get through, but a huge weight of the past has been lifted and we're feeling a lot better and fulfilled. Can you relate that to anything that's going on at the time this video goes up? Okay, then we have Seven of Pentacles. Coma. In the 3rd century BCE, Bernice, the wife of Ptolemy III, sacrificed her beautiful hair as a votive to Aphrodite, petitioning her for her husband's safe return from battle. Okay, so we see her hair. To commemorate the selfless act of love and devotion, Bernice's hair was placed in the heavens as the constellation of Coma. Okay, hair is a vital aspect of one's persona, symbolizing both virtue and spiritual adornment. Cultivating then offering her prized hair to the goddess ensured a successful outcome. When this card appears, the individual's labor has culminated, and it is time to patiently observe and evaluate its growth and process. So the individual's labor has culminated. And I was saying Seven of Pentacles represents the harvest in the traditional Waite-Smith deck. This Mercury in Virgo is certainly the harvest. You know what else I'm noticing? Here, they mention the constellation, and they talk about the mythology behind it, but they don't mention the planet, the sign that's also on the card. All right, so we're harvesting. And it can, corresponding to this card over here, we are harvesting some joy, some fulfillment, a welcome break from emotional heaviness, but we still have another obstacle to conquer. All right, strength. Leo, the lion-hearted heroine. is what it says. King of the beasts is a common epithet for the lion, the zodiacal totem representing Leo. Traditionally, strength depicts a young woman taming a lion, contrasting the brute force of the lion's body with the purity of the virginal spirit, the combination of Leo and Virgo. Atalanta, the huntress and personification of feminine strength, represents the virginal taming of the fierce lion in Greek myth. Teth, the Hebrew letter associated with this card, means snake. Its head is lifting, suggesting the Kundalini has risen, and Atalanta faces its instinctual force. From a psychological perspective, this suggests willpower can channel the instincts in service of the self. Okay, willpower can channel the instincts. On a divinatory level, this card implies the individual is experiencing an initiation into their own strength by finding the will and courage to accept difficult and dark feelings. Okay, so we are harnessing, taming our instincts so that they serve us rather than take us over. So, self-control to deal with the dark feelings that we've been having. It's coming up next to Draco there, that idea that we still got a ways to go. All right, here's the Princess of Pentacles. And she is spring. At the vernal equinox, the astrological cycle recommences with Aries. With the spring in her step, the princess heralds the season of new growth as the first signs of life reemerge. At the midpoint of the season, the pagans celebrated Beltane to proclaim the return of fertility. Similarly, the ancients told of Persephone's return from the dark confines of the underworld. The abundance of spring flowers denotes the fertility of this time and the availability of resources to begin seeding new projects professionally and materially. The card characterizes a young person of substance and integrity, willing to learn the craft of life. So let's just go with that spring energy here, that we keep ourselves in check. We channel our instincts into willpower, and because we have new things are beginning to spring up, and we want to be able to take advantage of that. All right, Eight of Cups, sorry. Cepheus. Throughout antiquity, kings represented this constellation. In myth, Cepheus was instructed to sacrifice his daughter. Therefore, this card asks what needs to be sacrificed to restore a harmonious relationship with spirit. The Eight of Cups signals periods of withdrawal while these feelings are being worked through. Often the central trigger for this self-examination is a relationship. On an oracular level, the card suggests a journey of the heart, which may also materialize as a physical journey. Whatever way this unfolds, the individual is transformed through sacrificing their defensiveness. Sacrificing their defensiveness. Okay, that kind of means that you're willing to let something in. Period of withdrawal. Cepheus sacrificing his daughter. What are we willing to let go of in order to move forward? Okay. Physical journey. The journey of the heart. Okay. So looking at this axis, Nine of Wands and Eight of Cups, we have another obstacle that we are grappling with. And this asks us what we are willing to sacrifice. And actually what they're talking about sacrificing here is our precious feelings. We are willing to sacrifice our defensiveness and feel something that maybe doesn't feel good. Oh, shoot, how am I doing that? How am I contributing to the problem? That sort of thing. Nine of Cups says, yes, we've had some good things to celebrate recently. We are harvesting work that we have put in, but we still have more work to do. We got to get a grip on ourselves, make sure that we're not giving in to our passions, and that they're not blazing out of control. And spring just says that there's a lot available to us right now. We have a lot of resources and a lot of the energy of beginning, the energy of initiation, the energy of fertility. in order to grow things. And Seven of Pentacles, too, that talked about a sacrifice, but it's more like the harvest. So we are reaping what we've sown. And look, she's got like the flowers trailing from her hands, talking about sowing and the harvest coming together. So yes, we're reaping what we've sown. We need to rely on our strength so that our feelings don't overtake us, and we can, let go of some of those precious feelings in order to get the job done that we have to do. You can get a reading for sure, but it's a struggle. And to tell you the truth, I don't see myself reaching for this deck. Unfortunately, it's going to go next to this one, although this one has keywords on the card, and that's very, very, very helpful. Yeah, I'm just kind of not sure how I would use it, whether I would stick to the astrology references, in my own internal, images from the standard tarot. But then again, these people are changing that standard. So you don't want to just use those old images when there's something entirely new in front of you. And then let's end it all with the fact that I absolutely hate the color of these borders and boundaries. What do you guys think? Have I bitched enough? Do you have some things to bitch about this deck? If you do, join us. Let's have a bitch fest. It reminds me of, I used to do, when I had kind of public rituals at my home, and other places, we used to start them off with a thing called a bitch and sweep, where in order to leave behind anything we didn't want to bring into ritual, everybody would be in a circle, and it's like, just bitch all your problems into the middle out loud, do it. And it takes a while for women to get going, and it's like, no, yell it into the center. Everybody would bitch everything into the center, and then I would pick somebody to take the broom, the magical broom, and sweep all of that out the door. So I'm going to sweep my bitching out the door, but please let me know what you think of this. Certainly the artist is wonderful and worthy, as is the author. I just don't know if this is a deck for me, an astrologer. Let me know what you think. Let's have a conversation. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.